Hello, everyone. Welcome to the Rage Traders. We're doing a Saturday night recap special. Now, if you are thinking, damn, this guy does a wrap up after every night of NRL, that is not going to continue. That's a bit too much. But for the first week, that is what I'm doing. So obviously today is Sunday. We got one more game coming, but we are going to do the Saturday night recap. Then tonight, I'll do the Sunday night recap for the Dolphins and South Sydney Rabbitohs. And then on the following weeks, it'll just be one full recap video for the whole week itself. Now, boy, oh boy, the cheapies have come out of nowhere. Now, for me, a pretty tough round so far when it's coming towards like some of my premiums, but holy moly, have I nailed my cheapies. Besides not having Joe Chan, I've got Lasardi. Look, Colquhoun, I'm still happy with in a sense because it was such a wipe game for the Sharks that a grindy sort of fantasy scorer like Colquhoun doesn't get warrant a lot of like points like that. He doesn't. That's not where his value is. His value is in those very grindy games where it's back and forth. He's tackling, he's running, he's tackling, he's running. This they were basically just running a lot, had a lot of the ball a lot, and I don't think that favors him a lot. But still a 42. I'm happy with that. Had Arama Howe in my team, who was just an 80-minute godsend, to be honest. So happy I put him in my team. Then I've got Noah Martin. Then I decided to fade Atkinson into Sanders. And then I've got Leo, Chester, Setutu, Lasardi in my starting field. So I'm very, very happy with that. So I can't complain. In terms of cheapies, there's not a lot of I have to do. But let's get into the Saturday night recap and wrap up, where we'll start with the first game of the day, which was the Cronulla Sharks versus the Gold Coast Titans. And holy hat, I was honestly not expecting this. I actually, in a part of my mind, I said, you know what? The Titans have shown that they can be a bit better on the defensive end. But, mate, the Cronulla Sharks came out and did what they do at Shark Park. Braden Trindle, 132 points. Nicho Hynes, 131, and Jesse Ramien. Now, one thing that has hurt me a bit was I was going to fade Latrell Mitchell because of the weather in Brisbane. That's looking to rain quite a lot. I actually don't know what the weather update is at the moment, but I'm in the Gold Coast. It's raining here. I don't know how bad it is in Brisbane, but I was going to put in Jesse Ramien. And I was like, you know what? Just stick with your guns, stick with your head. And it hurts a bit, but again, 115, he was phenomenal, playing off sort of the right side attack for the Cronulla Sharks was just absolutely on point. I think Iro got really hurt this game because right side was just so dominant and working, so they just kept going back there. But for him to still sort of snag a 45, I would have loved for him just to get a try or a try assist in this game, just so I didn't feel as bad. But again, a 45, I just have to live with it. I think in the games where it's a bit tougher, it's a bit closer, he shines more in those games. You know, he's a tackle buster. He's kind of like a mini Herbie in a way at times. He can get away, tackle bust, line break sort of type player. But it just didn't happen for him this game, so we'll have to monitor that. Glad I didn't go Billy Burns, to be honest with you, even though he did look really good. Just didn't shine in Supercoach ways compared to his comparative price. Katoa 90, that's really good. Someone who I was sort of big on and just, again, didn't see a lot of the ball like Iro was Sam Stonestreet. A bit annoying if you didn't have him. He actually got the first try assist, and then I was like, oh my gosh, he's in for a big one. But again, the ball just kept going right. The biggest story here is I just think the Trindle, Hynes, Ramien. The one thing I will say, and again, I'm not trying to be negative, but I was so interested. They were on 40 points and Nicho Hynes was only on 80 Supercoach points. So I think I'm really, really curious to see next week when they come up against Penrith. They're obviously not putting 50 points up against Penrith. I think we're going to get like a really interesting scoreline here, Supercoach wise. So that'll be really interesting to watch. Also, another interesting take here is I think Brenton Nikora, he scored the second try for Cronulla Sharks, or the third. I'm pretty sure it was the second. and only 48 points in a game of this magnitude. That's really scary. Especially when they went right side so much. That is honestly a big worry. I think Ramian looked phenomenal and should be on people's watch lists and target lists, pardon me, because if he can get away with even a break-even score, like a 51 next week, I think he's someone who I'm going to look at bringing in just because he looked on the money. But yeah, Fanua Blake is 67. That's pretty nice in this type of game. Someone who you could possibly look at going to if you did want. Will Kennedy was really strong in this game, but super coach wise, you just don't see it through his game. Again, nothing else much here to talk about. Jesse Colquhoun, again, I spoke about it a bit, but I think you'll just live with that. He, for me, is an easy trade. If Paseka looks better, I can go up to Paseka, who we'll get into a bit later. Or I can just go lower if need be. I can even go to a Joe Chan, who could present a bit more money and sort of fade Paseka because I have so many of the cheapies already that are going to make money. But in terms of the Titans now, so that's the Cronulla Sharks done. I think the best player by far, the two best players by far on the Titans was Keanu Kinney and Arama Howe. Now, Arama Howe, I did not expect to play 80 minutes. There was just a lot of value there in him having duality in FRF and 2RF. There was also so much value there in just him as a player being someone easy you could go across to Couchman if it kind of like didn't work out. So I just like that a lot. And I didn't want to spend up on Paseka and Flegler. I wanted to look at them both and make an evaluation with Jesse Colquhoun. That was my plan anyway. Kinney just looked to have a lot of runs. I don't know the exact amount of runs he had, but he just looked to be the guy that was in the core attack as well. It always went to him. I think he had one try assist for memory. Definitely had a try assist, but just looked really good coming back from injury, especially in a game getting 59 points for a break even of 31. 51, 9 points in a break even of 51, apologies. In a game like this, I'm really happy with. I think this is why he was a must-have, because look at the scoreline and look at the score he produced. That's really good. Faye Money, you're definitely going to take a 54 from that. Score to try this game. I faded Faye Money. I don't think it's bad if you have him. I just worry about their opening sort of draw. Fermor 49. I mean, Tino was a big one here. Had a massive spell. 44 points only with a break even of 70, and that's why I didn't start with him. I thought his break even was way too high, especially with no Jaden Campbell. So hoping today Colo does very, very well. Lachlan Ilias, to be honest, had a really, really poor game. I think that you can just see as soon as Campbell came out, I think a lot of heads went, oh, this could be a Sharks domination. I didn't actually think it was going to be that big. I was clearly wrong. Brimson 30, again, don't love him in the 5'8 position super coach wise. I thought, I know it doesn't reflect it, but Cooper Bye with a 25, when he came on, he looked really, really good. I suspect he may get more minutes next week or in the coming few weeks, so he could be a hold for me. But in saying that, with the scores, some people like Noah Martin have got, Joe Chan have got, I just think he's going to be an easy trade across for people that don't have them because you're guaranteed making money. And Curtis Morin with a 21, bit average there, but nothing much. Randall as well with the 32 being in that lock position, someone who I spoke about. I think Cleese Haas came on and there was just a bit of minutes taken off, but again, this was a whitewash and yeah, don't want to look into that too much. Let's go to the next game. Now, I won't lie to you. I had either team to win 1-10. I was so close. I was so close to putting this game to go to Golden Point, and I didn't. And then when Canberra were up by like 12 points or 10 points, I'm like, thank God I didn't do that. And then all of a sudden it went to Golden Point and my head was hanging down to the ground. Very annoyed by that. But let's get to the Supercoach stuff, eh? All right, let's start with Manly. Turbo looked very, very healthy. That's one thing we have to say that is a massive positive. A break even of 71, 104 points to him. Really, really good. One thing that I think aided him was the wet weather towards the end of the game, because Cooler started absolutely flying towards the end of the game. And I think Turbo support running just got value from that. So if Cooler didn't ignite them, really, Turbo's score would have been a bit worse. But it's an 80-minute game, and they nearly came back and they nearly won. And I think just Supercoach-wise, the fullbacks have shown that they're not really taking a massive hit so far. But it's been very high scoring, and I expected it to be a bit less. So we'll have to pay attention to that. I still want to look at Turbo a bit more. I mean, I know we've got, Teddy had a good game. Turbo had a good game. Ponga had a good game. Reece Walsh didn't. I still want to look at the fullbacks as a whole and maybe target the Ponga, Turbo, Tedesco. I think that's a really nice fit. But when you have Far Logo, getting 113, 115, whatever it was, I don't have to rush to this, but again, I did say that's why I want to keep my flex as a 2RF heavyweight, because then I can go to the fullback that might look the goods. Ola Kawatu, 73. I got some messages that he was looking quite good, so that's someone we could monitor. That's someone we could go to from a Tino if you've had a Tino. Even a Hopgood still looks good with the sim bin, so I think there's avenues if you do have a Tino to get to a good 2RF. Again, this was in the wet. I think Ola Kawatu a 73 off a 66 break even. Nice to see. Big talking point here. Tanela Paseka, 63 with a 34 break even at $328,600 is really, really nice. Obviously, this game went into Golden Point. Obviously, it was also wet, so it's going to be a bit like grindy. So I might sit one more week on him and wait. And, maybe Lehigh Hopewadi, bit 47, not really good. Kobe Hetherington was doing great at the start. I don't know what happened there. I don't think he got injured. He just fell off Supercoach-wise. If you had Garrick at 37, that hurts a lot. He could be someone you definitely look at moving, because I just think I don't like him anymore as a pick, to be honest with you. But you can wait and see on that. And I think that is it for the Manly Sea Eagles, to be honest with you. If I missed any cheapies, Luke Brooks, 51, that's fine. No one else here. All right, let's go to the Canberra Raiders. If you don't have this guy in, get him in your team. It's so funny. Las Vegas happened. Everyone's like, we got to get Ryan Couchman in. Well, someone else has emerged from cheapy land, and that is Noah Martin. In my team, not on my starting field, not a reserve, but I had Ethan Sanders as well, both top scoring, 118 for Noah Martin, 94 for Ethan Sanders. Noah Martin also nearly went over for a third try, looked absolutely amazing. And Ricky Stewart in the press conference after, said that Matty Nicholson had re-injured the shoulder, which solidifies Martin's position again. But he also said, and I quote, Martin was just superior in preseason, in the off-season. That is huge. So if from Ricky Stewart's mouth, he thinks that just Noah Martin has impressed more than the other players, Noah Martin is going to sit there. Now, you can wait a week and just see if he gets named for the third week. That's fine. I think if you're someone who doesn't have a lot of the cheapies, you really want to maybe focus on an Ethan Sanders if you didn't have him, because he's going to sit in that role. So try and find the security players first and then go for the players like Martin, Lasardi, Chan, Moses Leo when you know that they're going to be playing in round 3. That would be my advice. But even Hudson Young with an 85 had a really nice kicking game this game. Really good grubbers, a really good kick for a try assist. So broke his break even. He had a 77 break even, scoring 85 points. That's really, really nice. Even Corey Horsburgh with a 76, huge. Simi Sasagi, that's really big, to be honest with you. Yes, I don't know if this is just over. Look, we have to obviously say two things. One, it was wet, or three things. One, it was wet. 2, it went into Golden Point, so there's extra minutes there. And 3, we know from the preseason that there can be some lapses and in the defense of Manly Sea Eagles. So we have to take that into consideration. And now Manly could be a team we sort of say, hey, this team has Manly this week. Maybe they score some points on them. Maybe they're just a high-scoring team. Maybe it's kind of like the Dolphins now. maybe the Manly are turning into a bit of a Dolphins team where they have that high attack, they have that good ceiling, but they also have a really bad defense where you can just capitalize on that as well. I think Hosking went off with some HIA issue and then came back. Ethan Strange, if you started with him on a 32, that's pretty bad. Ethan Sanders looked absolutely amazing. I think the best thing, forget about the points, is he was attacking the line a lot, really looked good. I think he's someone you really got to look at having. If you have Atkinson, I just think he looks way better. But again, you can hold for 1 week if you want. Weeks are 75, huge to see. Starling a 59, he continues to do what he does. And honestly, nothing. Oh, Tarpanay 42. That is interesting. Wow, I didn't know that. So yeah, if you have Tarpanay, maybe be looking at someone like your Trey Mooney if you didn't have him, even a Hopgood, even a Colo, depending on how he plays today for South Sydney Rabbitohs. Again, I don't know what the weather's going to look like. But yeah, that is just Saturday night wrap-up for the NRL Supercoach 2026 and the NRL General. 2 games. Let me know what you think about these cheapies. Let me know who you're planning on getting in that you don't have in. Again, and also let me know what your projected score is. I was talking about this with someone. Now that there's only 1 game left, I'm projected for a 1194, which I'm happy with. I will live with that. But we'll see how we go. I'm currently sitting at 976 with a few players to go. Hopefully Herbie and Latrell can have a couple of big games. That will help me out a lot. But if not, we reevaluate and we take it one step at a time. Like, subscribe, comment, guys. For the algorithm. Also, if you haven't joined the Rage Traders 1K League, $1,000 up for grabs, 739499. That's 739499, and that is in the description below. Thanks, guys. See you on the next one. Good luck to the Dolphins and Rabbitohs fans.